and welcome to Unity, the Practicalities Part 3. Our enemy, as we said earlier, is going to tell us that unity for the body of Christ to be in this oneness and unity that we desire to reach this hurting world is impossible. He wants us to believe that because he wants us to focus on the things that he can influence, the things that he has some control over, that he can get involved in, which is the way we think in this world. Our carnal kind of thinking. He can mess with us, our insecurities and our fears and what have you. He wants us to look at that. See? So he's going to say to us, well, how are you going to build bridges with these denominations where these leaderships, they really don't have any time for you? This denomination disagree on this point and they disagree on that point, and you guys are just going to waste your time. And you know what happens. We know from experience that that's what's happening. What happens in the past, that's what he's got us on. But that's because we thought that we were trying to achieve our unity. But now we know that we're not trying to achieve unity. We're already one. We're not even the slightest bit interested in trying to achieve unity. In fact, when the thought comes to us about how can we improve unity amongst us, we'll cast that thought out. Because that is an attack from our enemy. We don't need to improve unity in the body of Christ. It's impossible. There's no such thing as improving unity in the body of Christ. We are one. We need to be secure about that. We need to be able to stand on that. And anything that comes against that and says, well, maybe you could improve your unity if you did whatever. Well, we cast that out because it's a lie from our enemy and it's deceiving us and it's taking us away from our power and our strength, because we can be secure in the knowledge that we are one, and nothing he can do about that is going to change that. Nothing he says is going to change that. So we are one. So we're not trying to build bridges with other churches, denominations or ministries. We're not trying to build bridges. You see, logically, to our way of thinking, that would be the way forward, to build bridges. But that's not our way forward. That's our carnal way forward, but it's not our spiritual way forward. It's not the truth. We don't need to build a bridge because there's no gap to cross. We're one. So we can forget bridges. All we need to do is bless. We just need to reach out and bless our brothers and soldiers stood next to us in the rank of the army of God, whether they're wearing a different coloured tunic, whether they have a different kind of whatever, they are our brothers and we are nothing without them. We need all of them around us because we are all part of one body, as Paul told us. So we're not looking to build bridges with the church down the road, or the ministry down the road, or the denomination down the road. We're looking to bless them, period. Bless them and walk out, knowing when we look to our God and say, Lord, where is our blessing? You see, that's how we do it, and that way Satan cannot get in. The reason why he tries to get our attention going the other way about building bridges is because it leaves the door open for him to get in and mess with us. But we don't need to do that. There's no door open for him when all we're doing is bringing the love, as Jesus showed us when he washed the feet of the disciples. Nothing can go wrong there. There is no bridge to build. We just bless the ministries and the churches around us and look to our God for our blessing in return. You see, now that's practical, isn't it? And on that base, we can build our intellectual kind of program or strategy, however we want to do that. The options are fantastic. I'm not the man to go into detail about that kind of strategy, that kind of thing. I'm just saying that this is where we want to be focused. We need to bring our resources around now. We need to change the directions of our big guns on the wall, as we look out at this hurting world, we've been firing over there. We've had our big guns firing at a certain kind of thing. Well, that's been a decoy. You see, that's been our enemy drawing our fire while he's been attacking us at where it really hurts us. Well, if we move our guns around to where they're really going to be effective, which is upon the attack that is coming towards us, which is trying to divide us, we'll attack those, whatever it is that's coming at us. We'll recognise the enemy as it comes in whatever form, but we'll be alert to that now, and we'll say, you know what, that looks like something that's trying to divide us. That looks like something that's trying to discourage me and my ministry and my church and my denomination from serving and blessing those around me. Forgetting the hurting world for the moment. Not all our ministries. I'm not saying forget our ministries. I'm saying let's take this, let's put this thing much further up of our priorities. Let's look at how we're being attacked, and we're being attacked from this area, from this direction. Let's answer that. Let's keep our ministries going, but let's also see how we're being attacked, how we are being deceived in not blessing the churches around us. Now, we might be a small church. We might be somebody with just 20 people in our church, and we might feel discouraged about that. We might look out and think, you know what, the bigger churches don't help us, and where do we fit in this community? What can we do? And then the enemy will come in and say that, you know, their big churches don't want to know you, and whatever. And on the other hand, we may be a big church. We might be the biggest church in our city. We might be the big light on top of the hill, bringing all the lost souls in. And we might stand up every week and say, you know, there's 2,000 people in this church or whatever, and we have to have different sittings. And, you know, God has given our leaders this amazing calling to have the biggest church in our city. Well, if we've been called to have the biggest church in this city, we also need to have the biggest love for the smaller churches around us. And we need an office and a ministry within that church, within your church. If you're the biggest church around, and we need to have a whole ministry, and its whole job is to go out and find out how we can support and encourage the smaller churches, because we are nothing without the soldiers around us. And that means individually, it means church-wise, it means ministry-wise, and it means denominational-wise. We are nothing on our own. We are one. And we are one army, we are one body, and we are one church of Jesus Christ, and he's coming back for one bride. So we need to recognise everything that is trying to encourage us into disunity. Thank you for listening. God bless you.